What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. It's the 4th day of August, and here we are at about $3 right now, you guys. 21 hours, 35 minutes left in this day, the 4th day of August already. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's not dilly-dally, okay? XRP having a very nice reaction yesterday, right? We moved up about 6%, ate up that low. Very much validated that this is the low, and that we're probably ready to move up higher. If we take a line, we put this here, right at the low there, you found support right above prior areas of resistance, which is actually a good thing. Okay, it's nice to touch it back and show significance there, but beyond, I don't know why it keeps doing this, because I'm in automatic mode, but beyond this area as a key area of resistance to find support at, there's also this area of resistance. There's also this area of support, this area of resistance here, this area, right? There's more significant areas than just this, if you're looking at it right there. And this is what leaves people wanting. They think, oh, it's definitely going to go back here. But then you get front ran. I want to say front ran because that sounds more appropriate, but it also sounds silly. Front run. You're going to get, people are going to front run you, and you're going to miss out, right? From a low to a high, you went below the 382 like Bitcoin did on a closing basis, and then you closed right back above it like Bitcoin did on a closing basis on your next day. And that's a very bullish signal. Typically, keep in mind, nothing in technical analysis is perfect, but whoever you are, if this is your first time watching this, if this is your 1,000th time watching my videos, right? This isn't something that happens all the time, but anytime it does happen, I do address it. It's probably happened like maybe 3 or 5 times in the last year that I can think of that I've addressed in my videos, right? But it does happen. If you take a relative low to a relative high, it doesn't have to be on a daily time frame. It could be on a 1 hour. It can be on a whatever, okay? Typically, when you close below the 382, this is what your first thought should be, okay? Even if you want to see it go up, your first thought should be it's going to the 0.5 or the golden ratio. Typically, that's what that means, okay? But if the very next candle, specifically the very next candle, closes above the 382, much like this, and especially the bigger the better. That's a pretty big candle. It didn't engulf that candle, but that's a pretty big candle. The bigger the better. If you have this kind of reaction, I would say 70 or 80% of the time, it's not foolproof, but it's pretty damn reliable. You have a very robust recovery. It's a turnaround. It's a focal point. It's a nice area to bounce from, and bounce you shall, bounce you will, bounce you are right now. You're doing a little bounceroo right now. If we're looking at it on the daily time frame as far as indicators go, the RSI, you're finding support in the same area that you found support once, twice, 3 times before, 4 or 5 times before back here, 6, 7 times. You've found support all throughout this area before, and you're having a very nice V-shaped recovery in the RSI as you have before all of these times as well. This doesn't mean that you're going to move up at this pace the whole time. Maybe you move up at a slower pace, kind of gradual, and then you shift to more bullish pace. But XRP right now, you guys, is very much set for go mode. Okay, what do I mean by go mode? I mean, you're at new all-time highs one week. You've back-tested your prior areas of resistance this week. You're ready to go. When XRP is ready to go, it only knows one speed. Whenever it's dilly-dallying, being boring, okay, fine. It can be volatile, whatever. But whenever it's moving up, man, it moves up at a very, very fast speed. And I expect nothing less than a high-velocity move to come out of this, a multi-cycle consolidation phase, right, which you've broken out of. You found a bull flag. You just broke out of that. It's your new all-time highs that you've just freshly seen. I expect nothing less than a high-velocity move to take you out of this range. What do I mean by high velocity? I mean, it's going to happen fast, man. Fast as in soon from today, and also as it's happening, it's going to move up at a very fast pace. We're talking about weeks away from being at prices that are above $10, $11, $13, $16, $17, right? By the end of, I'm thinking September, you'll probably top off closer to when Bitcoin tops off, which could be the end of August, but I'm thinking sometime in September is whenever you will see these target areas. I've been off, I've called for this in July and August, and now we're calling for it in September. I get it, but timing doesn't matter. I have a feeling that the only people who are going to be upset that the price tops off at $13 to $16 in September instead of July or August, I have a feeling the only people that will be upset about that are the people who didn't buy. Oh no, you had more time to buy. What a terrible thing. And if you didn't seize the opportunity, if you didn't buy the dip here at 273, right? Very predictable outcome, right? Maybe not at the top was it a predictable outcome, but we actually did talk a lot with XRP about the idea of going below $3 again. I didn't know exactly where it would go, and I'm not trying to pretend that I was perfect with this, but this area, as soon as we found this low, we were pretty damn confident that that was the low, right? As long as we got back above the 382, which we did. You saw that. Now you're going to carry on. Just carry on. You have a bullish thing that you've done. You did a bullish reversal. Reverse. Continue. Be bullish. Don't do anything else, because if you do something else, lower you go, probably, and maybe you do backtest this area, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom out from there, okay? Bitcoin making a little bit of a comeback on this 1 hour time frame here. You see what it's doing, right? You guys see it? First off, it's teasing the bears hard, man. Getting people to short all the way up, which is normally what happens. And, you finally convince people, oh, the bull market's over. And then every single high, people are shorting all the way up until they get liquidated, and that just pushes the price even more. We're going to liquidate the hell out of a lot of these shorts, you guys. Look at the last week. We've got a massive, massive wall of shorts to eat through today. Oh, my God. Pepper needs new shorts. Name that movie. What Bitcoin's doing here, and maybe XRP's doing it too. We'll look at this. But you move up. Look at what you're doing. Right? Finding support at prior resistance at prior support. Finding support here at prior resistance at prior resistance at prior support. Finding support here at prior resistance at prior closing support, prior support. Right? You're being so productive, man. And if Bitcoin's being productive, XRP is going to be productive, likely. XRP getting overbought on the RSI, overbought in the stochastics, and the MACD is crossed above the zero, and you're building bullish momentum right now. This party's just getting started. We're on the 1 hour time frame. This doesn't imply weeks of growth, but days of growth. Day of growth. It implies today's going to be a good day. Today will be a good day. You will get away from $3. Never again. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I'm going to change my prediction, because I was going to say after today you'll never again be below $3, and that might be true. That's a bold prediction. But let's say this. Once we get above $3.27 on a daily closing basis, $3.27, the golden ratio here, once we get above that on a daily closing basis, we will officially confirm that XRP will never again be below $3. Some people hear that and they think that I'm saying, oh, he doesn't mean never again. That would be silly. No, he just means until the end of the cycle. Then in the bear market, we'll come back below $3, right? No, that's not what I mean. I mean, never again. I mean, your grandkids will be like, XRP was below $3 and you didn't buy it? Like that, like never again will XRP be below $3. Once we get above 327. If you didn't, and it's very possible that from today and on, it never will again. If you didn't seize the opportunity 2 days ago and yesterday, you will never have that opportunity again to buy below $3. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't skip, that doesn't mean you should skip out on being able to buy below $4 or just above $3, below $5. When we cross above that $10 threshold, $13 threshold, XRP probably never goes below $5 again too. We still have time to make excellent gains and excellent decisions with the opportunity in front of us. But understand, XRP below $3 is either a fleeting thing or is already a thing of the past. Understand, right? And here we are, just 1.5 cents above it. That's a very bold call. But I'm just saying. And again, that doesn't mean that we can't go down there today, or maybe we move up and we go down tomorrow. But if we get above $3.27 on a daily closing basis, never again will it happen, okay? 1 hour time frame. Getting all sentimental with XRP here. Finding a low there. Not really anywhere that makes sense to find a low, but whatever. You're bullish. This is a very unforgiving move up for the bears, man. Absolutely tenacious. I don't think that you stop here. No, absolutely not. What should we... let's just look at the indicators. I don't want to draw any fibs. We already looked at the indicators. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. Can you guys tell I'm sleep deprived? I'm all over the place, man. High to low here. Let me move this. Oh, I didn't mean to move that. Hold on. There we go. We're right below the 382. So yeah, we're probably getting near a stopping point, and that makes sense, right? Prior resistance here, prior support right here, prior support right there, prior support and resistance right here, and it's the 382. $3.05. We're at $3.01.5 now. It's very common with the 382, with your first interaction, to wick above it and then close below it. If you do that, we'd very much expect to go to the 236, which, hey, I'll tell you what does that look like? If we were to wick above the 382, close below it, go back to the 236 and bounce there, what does that look like? Does that not look like a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern? That looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. But it's very common to wick above the 382 and close below it. If we don't do that, what we could do is go all the way up to the 0.5 and then we'll consolidate around here. That's actually the more bullish outcome and would likely lead us to break through the golden ratio without even stopping at it, stopping in this area whenever we do interact with it. If we see some interaction like this where we dilly-dally here and then go back to the 236, we likely would move up to the golden ratio at 326 to 334. If we do anything else where we're just kind of consolidating in this range, whether it's really tied up against the 382 or range bound like this, or even more bullish than that, who knows, we likely would break through the golden ratio on its first attempt. Unless from here, and I know I'm giving you a whole bunch of different possibilities here, but I mean everything that I'm saying here. Unless we do just move straight up to the golden ratio, if we bypass the 382 and the 0.5, then likely we would stop here, okay? So I've given you the likelihoods of what would make us stop in this area, what would make us pass through this area. I'll go over it one more time for anybody who's confused, because I know, at least from the trolls and the haters, they seem to be confused when I talk like this. They're like, he's given too many options. It's like, maybe for you, maybe it's hard for you to understand, but let's go over the possibilities again. Wicking above the 382, coming back to the 236, that would imply you stop at the golden ratio. Likely from there you go to the 0.5 382 area for support, and then you come up to the 886 for resistance, golden ratio for support, and then you're breaking out, and then it's fantastic, right? Maybe sometime in the middle of the month, later part of the month, that's when you break out to new all-time highs. From this perspective, I want to be very clear, and from all the perspectives, XRP from here is probably not just going to rip right through the roof in one fell swoop, right? Not until we get above this zone. Until we get above that zone, we're kind of consolidating. Yes, you're in go time, and things are going to be bullish, but we're on the 4-hour time frame. You will find some kind of significance and resistance along the way. So wick above, back to the 236, that's what would allow you to stop at the golden ratio. The only other thing that would make you stop there is just moving up to the golden ratio immediately with disregard for the 0.5 or the 382 area entirely. Other than that, if you move up here and consolidate at any kind of form in the 0.5 or 382, you will likely rip through the golden ratio, go up here, you'll bypass that extra step of needing to find resistance here, consolidate back, go up here, and then consolidate. You'll bypass that extra step, come back, find support at the golden ratio, and then rip. Okay, does that make sense? Once you're getting above $3.53, that is essentially how we know that XRP is in a moment where it's like this, where we're seeing 20% days, 30% days, more than that, 100% months, right? Crazy, crazy growth. And it's going to happen in a very short amount of time. Here we are at $3.03 now, 4-hour time frame. Looking at the RSI, you do appear to be breaking out of this downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs there, lower lows there. Yeah, you're breaking out of this downtrend. The RSI looking good. You are at the 60, which is a good area to find resistance. An hour and a half left in this 4-hour time frame. Do you close here? Do you not close here? It's very possible that you do. It's very, very possible that you do. Stochastics are just about to get overbought though. MACD just crossed green. I don't know, man. I would think that you continue going higher. And again, now that we've gone over all those possibilities, high to low, I don't think that we're going to find resistance here. I'm curious to see if we move up to 315 and find resistance in this area. Curious to see. Or we could just move all the way up to the golden ratio. I don't know. Time will tell. The indicators on the 4-hour time frame do give me hope that we're not done growing here. But if we do find turbulence, I would anticipate that you find support somewhere around 290, maybe 280 at the lowest. You're at $3 now, so nothing too crazy, and then you begin moving up again. Okay, daily time frame here, bullish, bouncing off of this area. Stochastics are crossing up into out of the oversold zone. Bullish, good job. MACD bearish, but you're decaying in bearish momentum. If you move up but not too fast, the MACD will have a chance to scoop that zero area, and bouncing off the zero with your MACD oscillators is actually a very bullish thing, so that wouldn't be bad at all. But if you do move up fast, whatever, you'll just cross bullish. You won't scoop the zero, but that's okay. Weekly time frame now. Looking at the weekly time frame, I like the MACD. Stochastics could use a little bit of life, and if you get a green week this week, then you should have some life pulling back up and getting into that overbought zone. Same thing with the RSI. You rejected the overbought zone here. You're at the 60 now. Oh, man, that's a good look. It's actually a really good look. You want to close this week green, okay? Not only would that validate your low, but it would also very much suggest that we're getting into the overbought zone and likely seeing a stronger reading than what you saw last time. So weekly time frame here, if you had fun with this move from a low to a high, moving up 91% in the course of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, the next move over the next 4 weeks would actually be a lot larger than that if we close this week green. Why? Because RSI overbought, bounce off the 60 equals good. Okay, get overbought, good, good, very good, good. Would make a bigger move, much bigger move. And where would that take you? Ultimately, I think whenever you do move up, XRP again, I think you're going to $13 to $16. But let's be practical here. Okay, from last cycle's high, and that is practical. We've done a lot of math and analysis to validate that $13 to $16 is actually a very appropriate range to assume. Okay, but the next area to go to, here we are at the, why can't I delete the white line? The 1272 now. Next area to go to would very much likely be the golden ratio. So we'll probably snap all the way up to 640 by the end of this month, consolidate a little bit. Maybe going into the end of the month, we start moving up again, but I think September, that's whenever we're going to break above $10, $13, $16. But you never know. XRP moves very, very fast whenever it wants to. So if I'm wrong about anything, I think it'll be the timing and to the faster effect rather than the slower effect. But I do think it'll be September at this point in time that we see those highs. So I've got nothing else for you guys. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.